Hey everybody, I'm Ethan Nadolson. I'm the president and CEO of SOARR, and I'm here today with our Father's Day edition. And with me I have Bear, as many of you know. He's the man, the myth, the legend, but most notably my father. So welcome, Bear.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, great
Appreciate
to have you
it.
here.
I'm glad to be here. Well, I've been in the truck industry over 40 years, 43, 45, something like that. I haven't counted recently. But I started out at International Harvester Used Truck Center, and I was in sales. And then I managed a Kenworth dealership, used truck department, and then a Freightliner used truck department. And I worked for Aero Truck Sales for a little while. And then I went out on my own and started doing, I realized that a lot of managers didn't know how to make money in the used truck business. And so I went out with my wife, Mary Main, and we started a business called Bear Marketing Group. And we started doing sales and management, fundamentals of truck sales, training, and did that for like 15 years. And probably would still be doing it, Ethan, if COVID hadn't put the kibosh to it.
Officially, I got out of school one year and you told me I needed to get a job, and I told you none of my friends had jobs and you didn't really care, and you said, well, come work at the dealership, because no one else would hire me, and so you had to pay me under the table because I was 11.
I know. I started you out young.
So that was my entrance into the used truck business. And then it was kind of during the summers after school, things like that. I'd work at the dealership, learn trucks, but ever since I was little, I was going to auctions with you. And some people will remember John Grizzly, and back in the Mannheim days, or Fort Wayne vehicle auction days, and climbing all over trucks. And now that I think about it, a lot of times you had me climbing under trucks or on top of engines that were running. I'm not sure what that was about. Well, you had 4 sons, so I guess I was expendable.
All right.
Well, I've got an illegal one. So when I was, we went to an auction one time, and it was a dealership working with Dad, and we get to the auction. My dad gets all excited, buys a truck. It was a Mac 2 stick where you had to stick your arm down through the steering wheel, and you had 2 gear shifters. And he looked over at me and he goes, well, I got a problem. I'm like, what, Dad? And he said, well, the auction says it has to be off the lot tonight, and I don't have anybody to pick this truck up. And he looked at me and he's like, so you're driving it? And so I climbed in, and I was nervous as heck because I was 13. And
after 15 minutes of training, intense training,
I had to try and figure out how to drive. I'd driven a lot of trucks around the lot, never drove a Mac 2 stick. Don't know if I ever want to again.
All you gotta do is get it in high gear.
Yeah.
And if you got a horn, you don't need brakes.
That's true. That's true. So I learned a lot that day, and took the back roads, and we made it back, though.
One of the joys of my life is to be able to work with Ethan in the UTA, in recruiting. He did a phenomenal job recruiting people. We started out with 98 people in the UTA, and he took over as membership chairman and ended up with, in how many months, like 6 or 7?
Yeah, March to November.
500 members, which was a phenomenal task, and it helped the UTA grow. And I've enjoyed working with you, doing the training and those kind of things. It's been a joy, but probably the thing that touches me the most is when you call and you say, Dad, I need your advice. and I go, wow, I really enjoy that, because now I get to use all that's up here in my noggin, all this stuff that's laying up there. Mm-hmm. When I pass away, it's gonna die with me. And I want to share as much of that with you and everybody else that I come across in the truck business while I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I wish I could record it all, because I've probably forgotten more than
Yeah, most people
ever knew
Yeah.
about the business.
One lesson I've learned from my dad. Wow, there's so many. I mean, I could probably go on for a really long time about this one. But probably one of the biggest ones is the value of family and the value of work ethic. Because my dad would, always do stuff with us when we were kids. He would take us. He was a Cub Scout master. He would take us camping and fishing and all kinds of different activities, and took me to auctions for, now I realize, some self-serving reasons. But
One.
Okay. But take me to auctions and teach me about trucks and do all those kind of things. And growing up, as I was working, we'd work a lot, and he was a worker, so we were always working, and the work ethic was there. And sometimes he would let us work half days, which meant we only had to work 12 hours, which was great. But that was on special days.
Well, as a father, I've learned that, supporting your children's dreams and ideas, and helping them talk it out and listening to what they want to accomplish, but being honest and saying, yeah, I think this will work. This part, I'm not so sure. You want to rethink that and come back. But to take a sincere interest in what they want to accomplish in their lives. You always want your children to be successful. And I am proud of you, because you were in the truck industry and you have learned, and in many ways you've surpassed my knowledge of things, and that's what a dad wants. I want you to be better than I was.
Actually, it was probably like 93, 94 time period when worked at the dealership with my dad. My brother worked with me, and we had some other friends and other brother involved with us, and we were working on what we called the project, which ended up to be SOARR, in the SOARR inventory management system. And with that system, what we were building and what we were doing is we were replacing the need for going up to cord camera with our 35 millimeter film and getting 10 pictures of each truck developed, and then put them in an index file, and handwriting spec sheets and handing them to customers, or FedExing those to customers. And the internet was just starting to be a thing that was more common household item because of several factors. But in the 90s, early 90s, that became true. So we started putting this project together, as we called it, and showed it to my dad for the first time. And it was in pieces, and it was code, and it was not a great presentation. Wasn't really good at that yet. And so we showed it to him. And so sorry about that. Our very first version of it was, hey, Dad, look at this, and pulled up a screen. And 10 minutes later, we'd pull up something else. He's like, that's too complicated. And I think you end up walking off and just kind of like, yeah, that didn't really thrill me.
Didn't bode well for your creativity at that time.
Yeah, it didn't really didn't do it for you. But at least I was 19, and I was young and dumb enough to think the old man didn't know what he was talking about. And so we ended up finishing the program, and then we ended up giving it to you on Father's Day. So because we figured
and I'll never forget
had to sit down on Father's Day. It's Father's Day.
I'll never forget Father's Day, because as I looked at the program after you guys put it in a form that I could understand, which I'm not a techie, but when you put it in a form that I could understand, when I looked at it, I said, oh my gosh, this not only did it replace a bunch of the things that we did over and over again, like you said, pictures and spec sheets and handwriting, it it mechanized all that.
I know one year I got you the SOARR program, and it's hard to beat as a Father's Day gift, but I did get you a little something for this year. And
what is this?
Here's a little Father's Day present for you.
Great job, Dad. I turned out awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will cherish this.
That's a compliment.
This is I'll cherish that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, with that, I want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day, whether you're a father, have a father, or know somebody that has a father. Happy Father's Day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.